everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome to This is Reviewable. Our first ASMR episode.
You're too far away.
Our first ASMR episode. So, before we begin, are you hating this yet? Because I am. This is the sound of a beanie baby.
Are we gonna keep it?
Yeah, sure.
So, we watched what's the movie called?
The Ministry of Magic.
Right.
The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
And
Of Magic.
just tell them what it is.
It's based on a true story
No, tell them what it's called. No, they don't even
that
know.
I already did. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Magic Warfare.
No.
You've probably seen trailers for this, though. It came out this year.
Yeah.
And it stars Henry Cavill and Alan Ritchson and the dude from Crazy Rich Asians. I think his name's Henry Golding, the actor. I think those are the main stars in this movie. But you tell them what the plot's about, Micah.
So in 2016, files were declassified from Winston Churchill's time as Prime Minister. And this was one of the missions that he was aware of, or happened while he was Prime Minister.
Yeah, during World War II.
During World War II. So pretty much, the British find out that the Germans are restocking their U-boats.
So, which are submarines, basically.
Oh, okay. Which in Fernando Po, which is a small island in like the armpit of Africa. Right?
Yeah.
And if they're able to secretly destroy the supply boat, then they can cut off the German submarines pretty much completely.
And then that allows Americans to come across the Atlantic to help.
Safely and to help them. It basically helped change the war is what it sounds like.
Right. And
So the British military has this task force go and destroy the supply boat.
yeah, and it's comprised of Henry Cavill, Alan Ritchson, Henry Golding, some Irish guy, and I think that's their entire team.
This guy.
Yeah, he's the... Oh, right. What's his last name? Apple what? Yard.
Appleyard.
Yeah. And supposedly, the guy that is played by Henry Cavill, what's his name?
Gus.
March Phillips. So Gus March Phillips is believed to be the inspiration for James Bond, like the main inspiration for James Bond. And the author of James Bond is actually in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's like one of the little, like he's helping from from command. He's
Ian Fleming.
Yeah, he's helping receive the telegrams that they're sending each other. So he's got a small role in it. It's kind of a cool little detail, I guess. Did we do a good enough job describing
What it was about?
Okay, yeah.
There is more to it.
What it's about, yeah. But what this movie is kind of like an amalgamation of a bunch of different movies, I think.
The way that they told the story.
Yeah.
Is, yeah. So what did you like? Do we need to say more about what it is?
Yeah, I guess I'll just go with that. That's where the train of thought is heading right now. I thought that this movie was a mix of Inglourious Bastards and a little bit of Casablanca and a lot of bit of The Gentleman, which makes sense because it's a Guy Ritchie movie, so it's going to feel kind of similar. Was there another one that I mentioned? It doesn't really feel that James Bondy except for one scene that feels very James Bondy. So I guess a little bit of James Bond as well. And it's like kind of a mashup of all these different styles and influences. but I don't think it's not better in really any way than any of those movies. It just kind of like, it's fun. I didn't dislike this movie. It's like kind of a fun little journey that you're on. But it's just, that's all it is. It's just kind of fun. And I'm not going to remember it.
I felt like it was trying too hard to be fun. Because I love a fun movie. You know, you go to the movie theater or you watch a movie for 2 hours and it's just fun. And then it's done.
What's a fun movie, though, for you? I've never seen you have fun at the movies.
Well, Argyle was fun.
I always look over and you're just scowling and there's like smoke coming out of your ears and you're just clenching the armrests of your seat. Sometimes you even break the armrests off. You're clenching them so hard. I've never seen you have fun in a movie theater.
You're right. I'll just go F myself.
You liked Argyle, though?
Yeah, it was fun. I thought that was a fun movie. But this one, I felt like it was trying too hard to be fun.
I think this is better than Argyle.
I mean, well made, maybe. But, like, the cinematography was great. The acting was good. I just didn't love the script the whole time.
Yeah, me neither. Another thing I heard said about this movie is Henry Cavill's character is he's kind of like Rambo, but he like has all these little quips like James Bond would, where he's just like, you know, he kills someone and then he makes a funny little pun or a funny little comment.
Yeah, he does kind of do that.
But like he's basically like, all these guys are like a one-man army and they just roll through everybody like it's no problem.
Yeah.
I think that was probably my most major issue with this movie, is it's supposed to be like a fun kind of violent romp, which is great, but it felt like somebody was playing, and this is, I'm stealing this from, but this is exactly how I felt. I watched a video though that put it perfectly into words. It feels like watching someone playing a video game on easy mode.
Yeah.
Where they just, like, nothing ever goes wrong, no alarms ever get tripped, really, and even when they do get tripped, all of the heroes somehow perfectly react to every direction that the soldiers are coming from, and headshots only, and nobody even gets hit. It's just, like, it feels very low stakes after a while, because you know none of those characters are going to die. There's no way. They're all going to be fine. They're all just, like, rolling through everybody.
There's this one part in the movie where, like, the good guys are about to fight the bad guys, and the bad guys start shooting all of the good guys, and Henry Cavill is like, wait, and there's, like, ricochets right next to him. You can see where the bullets are hitting. It doesn't hit any of them. There's so many of them, of the good guys, that are in a spot to be hit with bullets hitting right next to them, all around them.
And they're not taking cover.
And yeah, they don't take cover. They just stand there.
And then once the good guys start firing back with the exact same weapons,
it's like Star Wars.
They're hitting headshots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It just, like, it felt very low stakes and very video gamey, and not, like, the action wasn't very interesting. And
there's this part, because they have to go, when they start their mission, Gus, Henry Cavill's character, is like, I won't do this mission without Appleyard.
Yeah.
And he's being held hostage on the way to Ferdinand Poe.
Yeah.
And so they go and rescue him. And at some point during this mission to rescue Apple, Henry Cavill puts on a Nazi uniform.
Yeah.
And one of the people in their group finds Apple first, and he's shooting people immediately as they walk up the stairs.
Yeah.
Why was Henry Cavill not shot?
Because it's a video game, Micah, and
that's what I'm saying.
That was the cutscene, so you can't shoot anymore during the cutscene.
But you know what I mean? It was like 5 seconds before a Nazi had walked up the stairs.
Well, he's not just wearing the coat; he's wearing the hat too.
Exactly.
Yeah, because there's this. He's got this thing throughout the movie where he's like, I simply must get me one of those coats. and he walks out of British intelligence office with a handsome coat, and then he sees the SS coat when they're trying to liberate Appleyard, and he steals the SS coat. So that's why he's wearing the SS uniform. But yeah, you're right. It seems like friendly fire would have happened.
Yeah. Multiple times throughout this movie, I thought that.
Yeah. There's also a plot. So there's a woman spy in this movie as well. I think her name is Marjorie in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Played by, what's her name?
Isa Gonzalez?
Okay.
Is that how you say her name?
Yeah, probably. And her job is, she goes, there's already a guy that's in deep cover in Fernando Po, and he's sort of like a casino owner. And he also does business with like the main Nazi admiral, major, I don't remember what rank he is.
Command.
Yeah, commander that's in charge of the island. And he's sort of like her liaison, and she gets to
Is the casino owner.
Yeah. But he's also part of intelligence.
Right.
Yeah.
But the way you said it made me think you were saying the Nazi commander.
Oh, no. So when Marjorie gets to the island, her job is to seduce the Nazi commander because they're going to distract all the officers with a big party in the casino, and then they're going to distract most of the enlisted men with a big party at the docks so that they can kill the lights and they can,
Do their thing.
And blow up the boats. So that's also going on at the same time. And I'm just establishing that that's a thing because I want to talk about spoilers in a little bit. I don't want to spoil too much of what happens. It is a fun movie.
It is fun. And we didn't watch this initially because... Well, I didn't watch this initially when it first came out, I think, because I heard it was really violent. And it is violent, but it's not gory.
It's not as bad as...
Some other stuff that
its
we've
IMDb
seen.
page makes it sound.
I agree.
Yeah.
It is violent, but I would not say it's gory.
There's even a part where...
And I think that is really my thing, I guess.
You don't like gory.
I don't like gory. Gory violence.
Well, there's even a part where Alan Richardson's character cuts a Nazi's heart out, and he's holding it in his hand, and that sounds really graphic, but it doesn't show...
A single thing.
Anything. And he's just kind of holding this... You can tell he's holding something, but it doesn't zoom in on it. You can't even really see it.
Mm-mm.
So it's
and you don't even know that's what it is until one of the characters call it out.
And like, it is rated R, but I was almost like, for how much this is channeling Inglourious Bastards and movies like that, I wanted it to be more violent.
And there's hardly any language. I remember they said the F word at some point, and I was like, oh.
That was the first time.
That was...
Yeah.
And it was like halfway through the movie or something like that. Like, oh.
Yeah. It's just like not... Imagine John Wick, but without blood. It just wouldn't be as satisfying. Like there's just something very satisfying about like the brutality of John Wick and how like efficient and just like cutthroat he is. And you watch those fight scenes and like almost half the fun is watching it with other people and like seeing them cringe because they're like, oh geez. I didn't really cringe one time watching this. It was just it was rated R but in a very clean way. So I was kind of disappointed by the action. I don't know.
Well, that's like what you're saying. It's easy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just not very, the action just wasn't very interesting. I think the best parts of this movie were when the team was kind of bouncing off each other and quipping. Which I didn't like all the time. Sometimes it got to be just a little bit too much, annoying. But I did like a lot of that stuff. I liked them recruiting Henry Cavill to do the mission. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I liked so Carrie Elwes is in this movie, who plays Wesley from The Princess Bride. And also he's in Psych, if you've ever seen that. I like his character a lot. I just like seeing him in movies. He's great. I liked the subplot with Marjorie and who's the guy,
Heron.
the casino owner? Heron. So his character's name is Heron. I liked all that stuff too. I thought that was interesting. There's stuff to like about this movie, but there's also stuff I didn't like.
I think the quote-unquote violence, whatever, it's just really insinuated. Like with the captain, or the commander of the Nazis, and they look in that window, and you don't really know what happened, but you know it wasn't good.
Well,
and
I think they were implying that he that woman.
Was it a woman?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like the commander's like a really.
I don't think you can say the R word.
Anyway, the commander's a really bad dude. So like it does feel like there's a. For all the times that it feels like there's no danger in this movie, it feels like Marjorie is in danger because she's getting close to this like monster and she's supposed to seduce him. So I liked that, but there's also a reason I didn't like it, which I'll get into in the spoiler section. I think we should probably just rate it so we can talk more freely.
I will say that what's his name? The guy from Crazy Rich Asians.
Henry Golding.
Yeah. When I saw Crazy Rich Asians, I was like, oh yeah, he's fine. And then like The Gentleman, he does a really good job. And then this movie, I was like, he's great.
Oh, really?
As an actor. I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm ready to rate it.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I wasn't ready.
Well, you said you were ready.
I wanted you to go first.
I'm teeter-tottering between a 6.5 and a 7. Let's just give it a 6.75. A 6.75 unrealistically suppressed weapons out of 10.
True. I thought that.
Yeah, because like Henry Cavill's holding this like machine gun.
Yeah.
It looks like a Browning machine gun.
And it's like...
Which like, I wasn't even aware that they had suppressors by World War II. Or if they used them or not, which maybe they did, but like it's like silent when he shoots it. Usually I don't have a problem with that in movies, and I don't really, I don't really care. It is what it is. But anyways.
Oh, they had. Well, I guess it depends on when or what kind of gun they were using, but they had just been created, the silencer. Like 42, 43. Actually, during the wars when they were created, I guess. So I don't know when. Anyways. I guess I'm going to rate this a 6.5. Unrealistic arrow shootings.
Yeah.
Out of 10.
Okay,
spoilers.
Alright, well, I want to get this out of the way. Well, never mind. Actually, let's start with something else. So the reason that I didn't like the whole subplot with Marjorie and the commander is the more I thought about it, the more I thought to myself, within the context of this movie, they kill so many Germans. They end up killing the commander of Fernando Po in the end.
They don't.
Yes, they do. She does.
Oh. I thought you were talking about because it's technically Spanish territory.
Yeah, so...
I thought you were talking about the Spanish commander.
They have no issue killing a lot of people, killing a lot of Germans during this mission. Why did... And like, the whole reason she needs to seduce him is he doesn't like to go to parties, so they're worried that he's going to be...
A nuisance.
He's going to be able to tell that something's going down and alert the base, and so she needs to distract him. Why didn't they just kill him?
From the beginning.
Why didn't they just assassinate him?
You're right, because everyone else was at the party anyways.
There was no reason for her to be there if she wasn't there to seduce him. No reason at all.
Yeah.
She served no purpose except for this, and this is the James Bond part. She does this like little musical number in the casino, and it's very James Bondy.
Yeah.
Super James Bondy. Oh shoot. Dang it, I gotta remember this. Kate, remind me the whole thing.
Just text it to myself.
Yeah, so she's doing this, like, and like the lights are dimmed and it like keeps zooming in on her, and she's wearing a super revealing dress,
and it's
she's
super sexy.
Yeah,
and
it feels so James Bondy.
Yeah.
So that's the one scene that I think is kind of lifted from that franchise. But like, the more I thought about it, even though I liked her subplot and I was interested in her character, and I liked the whole everything that was going on there, the more I thought about it, I was like, she doesn't need to be in that kind of danger. They could have just assassinated him if they were fine killing everybody in the first place.
Yeah.
Well,
and the weapons thing that you said.
What weapons thing?
She had a gun.
Oh, right. Yeah. So at a certain point, the commander figures out that she's not who she says she is, and he doesn't trust her. And so he has her cuffed. And from the scene in the beginning where you see like this naked woman hanging by her hands, and she's dead. She's clearly dead. Heavily implied that she was assaulted. And the comments that the commander is making all night implies that that's what he's going to do that's what he's planning to do to Marjorie. So he cuffs her, and then here's an explosion, so they leave to go deal with the explosion.
He leaves. And then later on, she shows up at the harbor. It doesn't make any sense why they brought her.
Yeah, she's driven by his assistant down to the harbor where he is. And she's able to grab a gun that she strapped to her thigh, and shoot him in the head. Why did he not check her for weapons?
Yeah.
If he knew that she was an agent.
I don't know if he knew that, did he?
Well, he was suspicious of her at the very least. He knew she was pretending to be someone she wasn't.
Yeah.
And she came to Fernando Poe with a business proposition, and she distracted him the whole time this operation was happening.
Yeah,
and he's not an idiot, so like he should put two and two together that this is probably someone who's there for a reason. Why would you not check that person for weapons?
Yeah. Okay. Are you done with that part?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Talking about how this movie was on easy mode.
Mm-hmm.
When Heron hides this bomb, he gets caught because he's hiding a bomb to cut the lights. Oh my gosh. 3 Nazis show up, and he kills them.
No, they're Spanish.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they're, because this island is Spanish controlled.
Okay.
Also.
3 Spaniard soldiers show up. He kills them all. Nobody raises the alarm that 3 soldiers are missing.
Okay, but this isn't what I thought you were going to say.
Oh, I know what you're going to say, and I just say it, whatever.
He kills 2 of them. He's got like this little spring-loaded gun that pops out of his wrist. So, taxi driver.
Yeah.
So he's got a taxi driver gun, pops out of his sleeve, shoots 2 of them in the head, tries to shoot the 3rd one.
Gun's
Gun's
jams.
not working. Tries again. Gun's not working. Tries again.
The
Gun's
whole
not
time-
working. Cocks it. Still isn't working.
The whole time the Spanish soldier is trying to get his gun out of his holster.
He's like quivering in fear, trying to draw his gun. I'm like,
and this is how long,
what?
Braden talking about it is how long he's taking to shoot this guy.
yes.
So how easy would it be? He's using his right hand to try and grab a gun on his left hip. What an idiot. Trying to, I can't get it. Oh, I can't get it.
It's a literal NPC.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
No alarms raised about these Spanish soldiers going missing.
Because he kills them in broad daylight.
And then hides them at some point. Or whatever.
Well, it doesn't even show that.
Right. I'm assuming he hides them. Okay?
Yeah.
It's hours before the party is supposed to happen. Somebody should have raised the alarm. Okay? And then Gus, Henry Cavill's team, finds out that the ship that they're supposed to sink is unsinkable.
Yeah.
So then they're like, okay, well, we have to come up with a plan. Almost immediately, someone in the group is like, oh, let's do this super elaborate plan that is hard to follow because I don't know the name of all the ships. The super elaborate plan that seems impossible works perfectly.
Yeah. Nothing ever goes wrong in this movie.
At all.
Yeah.
Marjorie gets captured. She's supposed to be hurt, probably, in a lot of different ways, and then killed. They bring her to the docks. She kills the commander. What?
Yeah, she's fine. Yeah.
Gets
out of
the boat that they steal that's unsinkable gets stolen. Henry Cavill is following on a ship after them, waiting for Marjorie and Heron to catch up with them. Everyone on the boat, we need to leave, otherwise we're blah blah blah. And Henry Cavill is like, no, we need to wait for Marjorie. They'll show up perfectly on time.
And they leave.
And they
get away.
And everybody gets okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay, can I have that?
Yeah.
All right. There's 2 special segments today. The first one I'm gonna kick off with, I've called "Playful Stealing Brings Spiritual Healing," and these are the things that were lifted from other movies to be put into this movie. Which disclaimer, I don't think is necessarily a bad thing as long as you do it well.
Some of it is done well.
Some of it is done well. A few of these are actually, you know what? One of these that I'm going to say, there's 3 things. One of them I think is done well. The first one is a direct reference to Casablanca. Huron owns a casino in a African country, already giving Casablanca vibes during World War II. It's unoccupied territory, neutral territory, very much Casablanca vibes. So when the dirty, nasty Nazi commander meets Marjorie, they have like a little riddle game that they're playing with each other. And then he comes and finds her later at the casino, and they're, talking back and forth. And he says to her, "I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship," which is the exact thing that Humphrey Bogart's character says to what's that guy's name?
The Nazi?
No. He's the prefect in Casablanca.
I don't know his name.
Anyway, it's the last line of Casablanca. And he says this to Marjorie. The reason I don't like that, I didn't like that they had the commander say such an iconic line, and it's such a feel-good line too at the end of Casablanca, and he's the one that gets to say it to Marjorie, who he wants to assault. And I just didn't like that. It didn't really sit well with me. I thought that they gave that quote to the wrong person. Okay. The next one is from Inglourious Bastards, which if you've seen that movie, you know that a big little subplot is when they're doing their mission in occupied France, I think it is. Occupied France. Brad Pitt is the commander of their little unit, and he's telling everybody that they need to scalp the Nazis when they kill them, just because that they're just going to be brutal, and that's what he wants to do. He just wants to be cruel to the Nazis, and he tells his men that they all need to give him 100 Nazi scalps. You remember this? Mm-mm. Okay, anyway, they cut scalps off in that movie.
I've only seen most of that movie.
In this movie, there's a scene where Alan Richardson's character cuts the heart out of a German just because.
Yeah.
And he only does it once.
He only does it once.
And then there's a part later where they're about to start the operation where they're going to try and destroy the boat, and his character's like, "I'm not leaving here without some more German hearts," or whatever. I was like, that felt very shoehorned in, because he just decides to do it in the moment for some reason.
Yeah.
To cut the heart out and hold it in his hand for, I guess, shock value. But I think it's a reference to Inglourious Bastards that doesn't come off very well.
Yeah.
And then, while Marjorie is doing her little musical number, she starts singing in German at a certain point, and she slips up and says something in Yiddish.
Because she's Jewish.
Yeah. And the German commander catches it, and that's when he realizes she's a Jew, and she's not who she says she is. And I think that reminded me very much of the part in Inglourious Bastards where the guy puts up the number 3.
Yeah, it's the wrong way.
And the German way is to do it, with your last 3 fingers instead of your right? And that's how he catches them. I thought that was okay. I didn't mind that terribly, but also what a dumb mistake. You know? Like the 3, that feels totally natural.
Well, because that's a complete habit.
Right. And like if you're not living in Germany and like ordering drinks in German all the time, you're not going to remember.
No.
You're not,
or even know that.
Yeah. So like that one is like really, really great writing in my opinion. And like just, you know, a hawk-eyed German Nazi official recognizing something that's not quite right. This one, like, why would you slip up like that? Why would you sing in Yiddish?
Yeah. And it's not like she'd already made like a joke earlier in the movie about being Jewish also.
Yeah.
So like she put the suspicion, the seed in his brain and then watered it.
Yeah, it was like when that happened, I was like, she intended to do that, right?
Yeah, and then they never talk about it.
So that she could get him into a room alone, maybe, to kill him or something. But I don't know. Like, it's never...
They never talk about it again.
It's not clear whether that was intentional or not, but it just felt like a cheap knockoff of a better scene.
Yeah, because earlier in the movie when she's having like a little riddle battle with him, they speak in German and he's like, she's smart and like in German or whatever.
Yeah.
Like obviously her German is good.
Yeah. And
then for her to make that mistake, it doesn't make any sense.
I just like the idea that she just had this song ready to go. And was there a band playing at all, or was it... Okay, yeah, so the band knew the song.
Yeah.
And she just had it ready to go. If she'd memorized the lyrics, then, you know, all of her practice... Why would she start singing in Yiddish? Unless that's how she practiced, just to sing that one line in Yiddish.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's strange.
Well, and he was the only one that caught it.
Right. I mean, I
don't know how close those languages are, but...
Yeah. Do you have anything else? I have one more segment.
Keep going.
Okay. This next segment is called Lies of the Jedi. Parentheses, I see through them. So these are the major, like, departures from the real story.
Oh, okay.
That this movie depicts. So the actual Operation Postmaster apparently took 5 months.
Oh, instead of like 15 days?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was because the guy that was in charge of the British naval base, I think, in West Africa wasn't cooperating with the mission. So it took them a much longer time to get that done. This is gonna sound kind of shocking. It kind of shocked me. The actual operation was done without a single casualty. Not a single person died. And it went off without a hitch, basically. It was perfect.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Which is crazy, right?
A casualty of the team?
No.
Or nobody died?
No Germans. No Germans, no Italians, no Spanish, no one on the team. No one died.
Oh my gosh, what the heck?
And only one shot was fired, and it was a negligent shot from one of the team members, yeah.
Wow.
Also, the woman who Marjorie was based on likely did not take part in the operation, which I was not surprised at all by, because like the reason she was involved in the first place, I was like, I'm not really buying that. They could have just assassinated the dude if they were so worried about it.
So did she actually get married to Gus?
She did, yeah.
So how was she involved?
She might have been involved in like the command aspect back in England, Britain. But it's not confirmed at all. She definitely was not on the island. She wasn't part of the team. The recapture of Appleman Johnny Appleseed happened without a shot being fired as well. There were only a few German soldiers, and they immediately surrendered, and one even passed out. Isn't that funny?
Wait, so did the guy actually have a bow and arrow?
Yeah, that is true. He did.
Okay,
he was an expert with a bow and arrow, but again, like, they didn't kill anybody during this operation, so he wouldn't have used it.
Because that I thought was actually kind of funny, how the team is doing surveillance on where Appleyard is captured, and then all of a sudden they turn around and see these Germans on patrol, and the Germans are like, what are you doing? And then an arrow comes and kills them.
Yeah.
And you're like, who just shot that arrow? And then the giant Swede comes out of the bush. I thought that was actually kind of funny.
Well, I like it when he just like they're trying to plan their entry during this part.
Yeah.
And then he just he keeps walking and he starts shooting the guards in the guard tower with the arrows, and then he continues down the hill towards the camp. And then Gus is like, I have an idea, Anders. Why don't you go on ahead and just try to kill everyone in your path?
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's some funny lines. Like it's pretty well written for the most part.
Yeah.
It's
just not the best.
Yeah.
I was telling Braden this last night that it had the makings of a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was just missing something. It missed the mark, and I can't exactly put my finger on it. Except for it feels unrealistic, which apparently it is realistic to a point.
That it went off so flawlessly. But like they kill so many Nazis in this movie, and that just didn't happen, you know?
Yeah.
But I get that you want to make it an action movie, you want to make it violent. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think that if the action was done better and maybe a little bit more high stakes and a little bit more bloody and a little bit more...
So if it
just
was
like a little
completely different...
A little more interesting. I think if the action was a little more interesting, I would have liked it a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't get my, like, action fix from this movie, and because of that, I now have to look at the rest of it with a high degree of scrutiny.
Okay, keep going.
I think that was it.
Okay.
So, that's all I've got.
Okay. All right. Well, I have a ton of separate stuff, so I'm just going to go through it really fast. A thumbs up and thumbs down. So, this was recommended to me by someone, and it was the book Apples Never Fall by Lane Moriarty, and she's a Australian author, and I read the book.
Hasn't she ever heard of Isaac Newton? They clearly fall.
Fair. I watched the TV show. It was on Hulu, I think. And then I read the book. I really enjoyed it. Thumbs up. It's basically about this mom who goes missing, and all of her adult kids are trying to figure out what happened to her, and it's kind of like a whodunit type thing. That was good. Then I watched Bridgerton season 1 and 2, and then Queen Charlotte. I think season 1, 2 thumbs up. Season 2, 1 thumbs up. Queen Charlotte, 2 thumbs up. And it's a period piece with it's like an alternate universe of the Victorian era where the queen is black and how that would affect society and how society would be different and with a twist of that. So that is what I watched. I also read this book, The Foxglove King by Hannah Witten, and that is a fantasy mystery. I'm not really sure what makes a book a mystery, actually, because I feel like a lot of books are technically mysteries because you're just trying to figure something out. Anyways, it's a fantasy where this girl from the slums is brought into society to help the king figure out if his son, the prince, is a traitor, and the story of them trying to figure out what's going on in their world and why things are happening. And that I give a thumbs up.
Nice.
Now I'm done.
So the way that you did that, 2 thumbs up means 100%, 1 thumbs up means 50%, so it's actually an F.
No, 2 thumbs up is really good. 1 thumbs up is good.
Okay. So I watched Atlanta season 3. This show just continues to get weirder and weirder and weirder. This one was like half of the episodes did not involve the main cast. They're called bottle episodes, where it's like a very self-contained story. There were, I think, 5 of those in this season, where it just follows a completely different what-if sort of scenario. This season had a lot. So the entire time, Paperboy, Darius, and Ern and Van are in Europe because they're doing like a European tour. So all the episodes where you follow the main cast, they're in a different city in Europe. That was kind of cool. There were some really funny situations that they got into, being like fish out of water and all that. And then the bottle episodes seemed to be more of the like social political commentary episodes. There was an episode about like reparations and how that might look from the perspective of a white person. If you know, let's say that your great-great-grandfather was a slave owner, what if the descendants of the slave were allowed to sue you for the fact that your great-great-grandfather owned their great-great-grandfather? What would that look like from the perspective of someone being sued? And just like episodes like that create sort of this situation that makes you think. And I don't think it's handled in a clumsy way at all. Like, I wasn't really offended by anything that I watched. It just like made me think about it. What I mean by that is it didn't feel like it was telling me how to think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was like, it's definitely very dicey material to get into, because no matter what you do, you're going to piss people off. I felt that they handled it in a pretty nuanced way. So I didn't think it was super biased towards any side. And I like that. And I like seeing shows that have the cojones to like talk about stuff like that. So I liked it, but I also thought there were too many of those episodes where they weren't focusing on the main cast, because I like the main cast the best. When the main cast is there, I really enjoyed this season. I enjoyed it for the most part when they weren't there, but I think I'm going to give it season 3, I'm going to give a 7.5.
Baguettes.
Yeah. 7.5 very stale baguettes out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have anything?
No, that was it.
Coming up?
Well, we want to see Furiosa, don't we?
Yeah.
So maybe Furiosa. Maybe Fall Guy as well. Maybe. Yeah.
Okay. I have Bridgerton season 3, first half, coming up. Okay, thanks everybody. Bye.